we got the court video, but however, all the people who are saying, "Oh, rumors, rumors, rumors," the cousin who came on of Sheriff Steins, we had him come on our channel. The man was spot on. Today, you're gonna see how he was spot on. He came on and he told us what was going on behind the scenes and the rumors with the daughter. Well, in court, we get further down into the scenario, and it starts off with the video. So viewer discretion advised of when he goes into the chambers and what happens take place. So we'll play this video clip here right now.
Is that a portion of the video? Yes,
So before you move into just accusing, you got to look deeper into this case and listen to what's said. Before we get into it though, he stepped down just a day before this preliminary hearing, but let's let you hear the clip now.
Mullins,
And also, who had the firearm?
Sheriff Steins.
And then Judge was also in his black robe.
Yes.
Do you know what portion of the courthouse that is?
That is the judge's chambers
And where's that located at, physically located?
in the Letcher County Courthouse.
That's all I have you on.
Would you like to cross-examine the witness?
I would, Your Honor. That was a short clip that was played there. How long do you believe that clip was?
That we just watched.
Yes, sir.
Just 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
10, 15 seconds. In fact, the video that was taken in the judge's chambers between the meeting between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins, it's my understanding that video lasted much longer, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the video
I have.
of the prior incident?
I have.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior to the clip that we saw?
Sheriff Steins uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Okay. So it's my understanding there were some people who were having a meeting with Judge Mullins prior to the sheriff's entry into the chambers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you identified those witnesses?
I don't know the names of them. There's about approximately 4 people in there. Then Sheriff Steins enters the judge's chambers and everybody else clears out.
You don't know their names?
Not right off, no.
Have you prepared a report?
In the process, yes.
You're in the process of preparing a report,
Yes, a lot of information.
but you've not spoken to any of those witnesses?
I've not directly, but they've all been interviewed. There's recorded interviews of those people in the case.
Okay, so other officers have spoken with those 4 witnesses?
Yes.
And what is your understanding of what those 4 witnesses have said?
I don't recall.
You have no idea what they said?
No.
I want to make sure I understand. Had there been a hearing previously this day in chambers?
In the courtroom?
No, in chambers.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so there's a video camera that is running in the district judge's chambers. Is that on all the time?
It's my understanding, yes.
And have you spoken with anyone about why that may be?
No. I mean, there's cameras throughout the courthouse.
Well, fair enough, but are you familiar with district judges' chambers normally, how they're set up?
No. I mean, some of them have video surveillance and some don't.
Right, but
This one does.
generally when they have surveillance, you agree with me that that is utilized when there is a proceeding going on in chambers, correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. And I'm just asking, so this video didn't have an audio recording to it, correct?
No, there's no audio.
Outside of once the 4 people that were inside that we don't know their names, once these 4 people had left the chambers, were they in an area adjacent where they could hear anything that was going on?
Yes, I believe some of them did remain in the next room.
Okay. And what did they tell us?
Do what?
What did they hear?
I've not been part. I wasn't part of those interviews.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're prepared for a preliminary hearing on a murder, and there are witnesses in an adjacent room.
I mean, they heard
Now,
gunshots.
put my question, please.
Yeah, let him ask the question.
Thank you, also. So you are investigating a murder and testifying in a preliminary hearing, and there are witnesses who may have overheard what preceded this edited clip, yet you can't tell us today anything that they said?
I've not personally listened to those interviews. I've talked to the other officers that did those interviews.
Fair enough, and I mean, we're here at a preliminary hearing, as you know, that you can testify to hearsay. I'm asking you what they said.
They heard gunshots.
Okay, was there any statements that they overheard?
No.
Were there raised voices?
One person stated that she didn't recognize him as being Judge Mullins' voice, but heard somebody say, "Help, help."
See, they're already being strange. They don't want to show the audio of the clip that was in the beginning. It's already seeming like a lot of cover-ups is happening. But just wait further down the line, it gets really interesting. Let's go back to the clip really quick here. All right, there you go.
Prior to the shooting?
No.
Okay. I want to ask generally, so did you process the scene? Are you the lead investigator on this case?
I am.
Okay, so as a lead investigator, I would presume that you would have secured the chambers and evidence once you arrived.
I was part of that, yes.
You were part of it, right? But you're the lead investigator, so you'd be in charge of those duties and delegating what should be done. Is that
No.
fair?
No, I don't delegate what's done.
Okay, so you're the lead investigator. What does that mean?
I'm the case officer.
Okay, so you're carrying the case. So
Okay, people in the comments asking, why did the sheriff say he killed him? That's all the details are coming up, and everything we was investigating on is pretty much spot on. They're about to get to all of the information, so I just want you to stick around. We told you the cousin was giving us information of Stein's. Stick around and listen to what they're going to say here.
No, there's not one in the chambers.
okay, and there was none on this person.
No.
Okay. All right. Who was the first person to arrive on behalf of law enforcement to investigate?
They were already in the courthouse.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about in terms of people that we may see a report from or take part in this investigation. Who would be the first person?
I believe Trooper Jason Bates was the first KSP personnel on scene.
Okay. And you spoke with him, and
I did.
he searched and did not locate a firearm.
No, he didn't search the scene. No.
You
His
just-
role
Sure.
his role at that point was security of the scene.
I understand, but I'm just trying to ascertain. You said earlier that there was no firearm found.
No.
I'm wanting to know, can you tell us, was it specifically searched for a firearm?
In the judge's chambers,
Yes, sir.
there was myself, Detective Chris Collins, Detective Scott Cottrell, Detective Eric Caldwell. That's all I recall right now.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand. So who searched specifically for a firearm?
We all did.
And that was specifically something you looked for?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Of course, your investigation, did you ascertain that prior in the day there had been a lunch meeting between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins?
There was.
Pardon?
There was.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear your response. I wasn't being trite. So where did this take place?
It's a restaurant called Street Side, and it's just down the street from the courthouse.
Okay. And it's my understanding there were a couple of other people who attended the luncheon?
There were several, yes.
Okay. And at some point after that, they wrapped up lunch and left, obviously, and went back to the courthouse. Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge
No.
Mullins and Sheriff Steins?
No.
Okay. But someone on behalf of the KSB has spoken to those witnesses?
Yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there was nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of
I do
what
not.
the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
So it's my understanding that in the larger portion of the video that we haven't had access to, that there is a point when Sheriff Steins asked for to see the telephone of Judge Mullins.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I would presume that you and the other officers you mentioned, when you secured the scene, that you secured those phones as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
And have you reviewed both of those phones?
They're currently at.
All right, it's about to get really interesting. They keep going on and on about the phone in this part in the forensic lab. And he's like, oh, it's at the forensic lab. I ain't regarding the downloads. I haven't looked at it yet. And I don't know. We haven't reviewed it yet. And he looks like he's covering something up. I mean, if you believe that's the truth. Personally, I have not seen it yet, he keeps saying. But this is when it gets interesting. A little bit like a minute after this part, it's finna really go into detail on everything else. The man looks like he's covering up something. Just look at his face. Look at his demeanor. I mean, look at him. Like, when I look at somebody like this, I can tell he's covering something up. What do you think? But we're going to get into it right here, right now.
Sheriff Steins had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So, have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins' phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet, no.
Okay. Have you issued a search
Yeah,
warrant for them?
yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't have a viewing of what transpired during that exchange of phones, but based upon your review of those moments prior to, when Sheriff Steins observes that cell phone, was he previously seated?
Yes.
Okay, so in the clip we saw, he was standing the entire time.
He was seated in front of the judge's desk.
And he looks at the cell phone. What is it? Can you describe his reaction in the video that we haven't seen?
Whose reaction?
Well, the sheriff.
you can't see his face in the video.
Okay. But is it clear that, does it appear to you that, let me rephrase this. Did he stand up after
Yes.
looking at the phone?
He stood up.
And how long after he looked at the cell phone and stood up did this occur that you played?
Just seconds.
Did you make the decision as on edits today for what you were going to present? In terms of, did you make the edit or determine
No,
which portion of the video we were going to see today?
No, sir, I did not.
Both cell phones have been sent to the Kentucky State Police forensic
Yes.
team, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you gotten any early report on what was found?
No.
Were both phones still on the desk when you arrived?
The judge's phone was on the desk. Sheriff Stein's phone was on his person.
Okay, so are there photographs of, was the phone locked at that point or was it still open?
Both of you asking about both of them, or?
Well, first let's talk about, that's fair. First, I'm talking about Judge Mullins, since it was the one that was still on the desk and presumably nobody touched it prior to you securing it, correct?
No.
So, yeah, so I would like to know about that. Have you ascertained what was currently open on that cell phone?
No, I don't know at this point, no.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, do you think that will be important to learn?
I hope to learn that when the report's ready, yes.
Okay. But as of today, you can't tell us
No.
what was currently open on the judge's phone?
No, sir.
Yeah, so the fact that he doesn't have the evidence lets me know, one, he might be wanting to help the sheriff too, but it might be some things upon him from the bigger, upper echelon telling him, hey, you better be hush mouth. But the fact that they don't have all the information on that phone right now is setting them up for the next part of trying to make him look a specific way. But let's get back into the video here.
Holmes and Detective Anthony Trotter.
She was interviewed with or without her parent?
With.
So her parent was present at the time you interviewed her?
Yes, I believe. I wasn't there, but yes, I think so.
And law enforcement has not spoken to her without her parent present?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did the Kentucky State Police obtain her phone?
No.
You intend to obtain records for her cell phone number?
Possibly, yes.
Do you believe that will be soon that you'll do that?
Could be, yes.
Had you already intended to do that, or did you just respond to my question?
Well, the call should be on the judge's records too.
Well, I understand.
And she's made statements about what occurred during those conversations.
I understand that, but I would presume that, have you ascertained whether Judge Mullins also had apps that stand outside of phone records?
I've not received those records yet. I don't know what's on the
Well,
phone.
fair enough, but did you look at the phone? Did it appear there were apps on it?
I'm not the person that's qualified to look through the phone.
Okay, but you're familiar with cell phones. They can host other forms of communication. Yes, sir.
What's the
He's
objection?
been asked the answer, Your Honor. He's asked the question, I think, about 4 or 5 different ways. The officers, the detective repeatedly said that he does not have a report with phones. He's not looking at the phone. He can't testify to that matter.
I'll let him ask the question, and what he can only testify what he has personal knowledge about.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Thank you.
Right.
So you're aware that. Have you determined whether there were any previous issues, personal or professional, between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins?
I've heard things.
What have you heard?
Just that this regarding the lawsuit that the Letcher County Sheriff's Office is currently involved with.
Okay. The lawsuit that involved ultimately a criminal conviction of a deputy for sexual behavior in the judge's chambers, is that the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, and the subject matter of that lawsuit, the chambers area, that's the same chambers in which this occurred, is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the details of that case that the lawsuit resulted from.
Okay. Are you aware of any criminal reports that Sheriff Steins had made of Judge Mullins prior to this day?
No.
Did you personally observe Sheriff Steins following this video?
Did I personally observe him? What?
Did you meet with him? Did you talk to him after?
He was in custody when I arrived at the courthouse that afternoon.
And at some point, did you draw any observation about his demeanor?
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, "Treat me fair." That's basically the comments he made.
Okay. Did he also make a statement about, I didn't see it in the citation, you're somewhere along the line I saw a statement being attributed to him about protecting his family?
I wasn't present, but when he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid."
Wow, they're trying to kidnap his wife and kid. So check it out. The sheriff's reaction looked like he wanted this guy to say some stuff that he wouldn't say. Because if you look at his eyes, he was like hoping he was going to say something. Then he was like, so that's the psychology I'm getting right now from his eyes and what he's saying right now. So this is interesting. And this is going to go higher. This case is going to go higher than just this. You'll figure out everything here. We're going to see what they're going to say next, though.
Did you attempt to speak to Sheriff Steins at the Leslie County Jail after the incident?
No.
Did anyone from your agency attempt to interview him?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And at that point, had he asserted his right to an attorney or anything?
No.
But nobody went back to try to talk to him or do an interview?
No.
I think I have one other question. In addition to cell phones that we discussed, the cell phone of Sheriff Steins and the cell phone that you found of Judge Mullins, were there additional phones that you were able to obtain?
There was one other phone that's currently being examined, and the basic reason it was seized was there was a text conversation between Sheriff Steins and some of his employees with the sheriff's office.
Okay, and that was an additional phone of Sheriff Steins?
It was a phone of, I guess she's the, I don't know what her title is, but she's employed. She's not sworn. She's employed by the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. And she voluntarily gave her phone to the person that interviewed her.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, could you explain why that was relevant or germane to your investigation?
I didn't conduct that interview, but it was, I guess it was regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to the shooting. But I don't have those results either, so I don't know exactly what was said.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought when we discussed that earlier that you indicated there was no evidence that the conversations at the lunch,
I haven't seen those conversations yet. I've not received the downloads from the phone.
right, but I ask you if you're aware of any information that could have been gleaned from witnesses at that meeting, and as I recall, you said no, but there is some information that something was discussed at this lunch. Is that correct?
I don't know what was discussed at lunch.
I understand, but you obtained this lady that we don't know her name, you obtained her phone in an effort or based on a belief that she would be able to demonstrate what was said at lunch. So you would agree with me, you believe that there is a witness or information that may have popped up at lunch.
There's a recorded interview with her in the case, and I'm yet to receive the downloads of the phone, so I don't know what they contain.
Okay, has that phone been sent to the
It is.
forensic examination as well?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Also, that's all I have. Thank you.
Redirect. Questions? Has Judge Mullins, he's sent to medical examiner's office for autopsy?
He was.
Have you?
There's his wife in the background back there. But like the fact is that literally you can see much as multiple gunshot wounds. The video clip was edited today, and it made it to where we didn't get to receive the conversation. And the fact that they didn't get the information from the girl's phone either tells you that it's another cover-up. Thank you for all the people from Kentucky who gave us information, and then we got close family members who gave us information. And people was like, "Oh, it's all rumors what you're saying, and you're disrespectful." Look, I don't get out here to play games. I actually looked for myself. I covered myself by saying it was an opinion, but it came out in the court to be a fact. So let's hear a little bit more of what they're saying here in this video clip.
Should have objected earlier. I'll admit the short clip. Yeah. I have the clerk enter that as exhibit number 1.
And Detective, is this an ongoing investigation?
Yes, it is.
And as this ongoing investigation proceeds, you will be obviously interviewing more people if necessary, submitting more evidence to the lab.
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Recross. All right. Any other witnesses for the Commonwealth?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down. Any witnesses for the defendant? I'll find probable cause and bind this case over the grand jury.
That's pretty much the information here for this video, and I'd like you to like this, thumbs up. We need you to share this out. This is going to go out to a higher jury. There's going to be more proceeds. So we're definitely wanting to see what more people in the Kentucky area say on the comment section. We appreciate you, but we're just wanting to see that the global cabal fall. We want the global cabal, the corruptness to all be exposed. We don't want the children to continually be abused. Because this is a factor that in these corrupt systems that are running everything right now, this is a defining factor of this nation. This is a defining factor of the world. And the more we allow people to just get away with this stuff, it becomes more tyranny. So the more of us speak on this, the more of us get this out and let people see the real storyline behind what's going on, it becomes different actions in the universe. So thanks for tuning in. We'll have other videos on the right-hand side. And we hope for more coming, and we'll cover the other half of what's coming pretty soon.